History has jotted down today, February 24, as the birthday of one of several key shapers of independent Jamaica, former Prime Minister Sir William Alexander Clark Bustamante. Learn more about his contribution as well as other aspects of our nation's culture in today's show. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore. Let's get started.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, February 24. Face-to-face school has been suspended for all students except those sitting final exams. Only students at grade 6 in primary school and grades 11 to 13 at secondary schools will be allowed to attend face-to-face classes. The measure takes effect today. Minister of Education, Youth and Information Favour Williams made the disclosure during this morning's post-cabinet press briefing at Jamaica House. She says the recent spike in COVID-19 cases on the island prompted the decision, which follows discussions with the Cabinet, the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and education stakeholders.
The schools have handled it according to the Ministry of Health and Wellness's protocol. However, as you know, many of our students come from many different communities to attend school. Our risk-based model that has guided us in terms of our process continues to be used. We continue to input new data that we receive into the model. And as we analyze the data and as we go along, we cannot ignore the caution lights that we are seeing from this data.
Under the pilot face-to-face program, more than 400 schools have been approved, with over 300 resuming in-person classes. On Tuesday, the island recorded 193 new COVID-19 cases and one additional death. The Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, says the current demand and increased output for goods and services is expected to drive economic growth in the 2021-2022 fiscal year. Director General Dr. Wayne Henry gave the forecast during the agency's quarterly press briefing on Tuesday.
The current projection is that the economy will grow within the range of 4% to 8%, with all industries forecasted to record growth. It should be noted that these projections are fluid, given the uncertainties which currently prevail regarding the pandemic, but there are some positive signs which provide optimism.
The projection provides good news for the country amidst the 10% decline in the economic growth for the 2020 calendar year. This is largely due to the COVID-19 pandemic and measures implemented to contain its spread. The PIOJ also projects a positive outturn for subsectors in the services industry, which has been hit hard with an 11.5% decline for the October to December quarter of last year.
Anticipated strong growth in industries associated with travel and tourism as the rollout of vaccination programs globally and locally is expected to facilitate growth in the hotels and restaurants, other services, particularly in the areas of entertainment and attractions, and the transport, storage, and communication industries.
The Ministry of National Security will be spending just over $1 billion in the new financial year on new coastal surveillance equipment for the Jamaica Defence Force, JDF. The procurement is part of a 5-year program aimed at protecting our borders by strengthening the JDF's mobility and surveillance capability.
It is imperative that securing our maritime space is enhanced as a key feature of our national security architecture.
Meanwhile, the JDF will use $2.3 billion to purchase more aircraft. Another $450 million will purchase armored patrol carriers for the force. In other news, $320 million has been set aside to complete renovation and construction works at Public Building West to allow for the expansion of the offices of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. The money will be used to procure and install a standby power generator and accompanying transformer, as well as to implement a fire suppression system. It's part of the allocation provided for the construction and improvement of courthouses project in the 2021-22 estimates of expenditure, which is now before the House of Representatives. Achievements under the project to date include completion of infrastructural development at public buildings north and east. Government has budgeted $2.3 billion to carry out activities as part of its plan to implement the National Identification System for Economic Growth, NIDS. The figure is contained in the estimates of expenditure for the upcoming fiscal year. Up to December 2020, the revised NIDS bill has been tabled in Parliament. Equipment has been delivered to the data center, and a communication strategy has been developed and implemented.
The bill will serve as the legal basis for the establishment of a robust, efficient, and effective national identification system. It will allow for the strengthening of identity security, reduction of identity fraud, and the simplification of bureaucracy.
In the new fiscal year, it's expected that the digitization of birth certificates, the establishment of production centers, and the completion of the framework for the Registrar General's Department will be completed. And finally, Jamaica now has a seat at the Executive Council of the World Meteorological Organization, WMO. Director of the island's Meteorological Services Branch, Evan Thompson, was elected president of the WMO's Regional Association 4 during a recent session of the association. The appointment is Jamaica's first presidency of the 193-member organization since joining in May 1963.
Having a seat at the WMO Executive Council allows me to coordinate the collaboration of all the members, ensuring that no one is left behind as we move forward in meteorology globally. Some of the constituent bodies have representation right across the world, but RA4, Regional Association 4, is not as well represented as some of the other regions, especially when we consider the Caribbean and Central America. So I believe there is need for greater involvement or participation from this region in all the bodies.
With the appointment, Mr. Thompson will have oversight of 27 countries in North America, Central America, and the Caribbean region. Regional Association 4 has, as one of its working groups, the Hurricane Committee. On an annual basis, this committee determines the names of tropical cyclones and other operational matters for the Atlantic hurricane season after reviewing past seasons. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
As we observe the birth of the first Prime Minister of independent Jamaica, that's Sir Alexander Bustamante, we reflect on key contributions made and their impact in creating Jamaica land we love.
Welcome to Blenheim, birthplace of a hero. Sir Alexander Bustamante was the first Prime Minister of Jamaica. He was born on the 24th of February 1884 and died 6th of August 1977, but still lives on in history. Here at his museum, you can get the rich history of him. So please feel free to come and enjoy. We are open from 9 to 5 weekdays, Monday to Friday. So please come on in and get the rich history. All right? You can call the Jamaica National Heritage Trust if you want some more information.
Informing.
Jamaica today confirmed its first imported case of coronavirus.
Educating.
If you follow the recommended procedures, it is highly likely that you will not get the disease.
Going beyond to keep you informed and connected.
Welcome to Get the Fact.
Even through the pandemic. Helping you stay safe while we protect ourselves. Dependable, impactful,
Accurate.
This is your JIS News.
Credible. Trustworthy. Every day, everywhere. Serving our customers proudly.
We move from a national hero to a national emblem. In many places locally, you'll see this bluish or purplish flower standing out, maybe because it has become significantly entrenched in our roots. Let's hear the story of our national flower.
Christopher Columbus saw it here when he came. It means wood of life in Latin. It's world-renowned for its medicinal, ornamental, and industrial properties. But round these parts, it's known as the Lignum vitae, the island's national flower.
It is a tree that is native to Jamaica, it's native to Cuba, basically the Greater Antilles and parts of Central America. Its native habitat is pretty much dry alluvial type plains. It also grows in well-drained limestone areas.
This short, compact tree takes over 100 years to grow up to 30 feet tall. Due to its luminous purple-blue flower, alluring orange-yellow fruit, evergreen foliage, and attractive rounded shape, the tree dots across the Jamaican landscape, shading many houses, streets, and complexes. Since time immemorial, the Lignum vitae has been touted as the most useful tree in the world.
It produces a gum, and that gum used to be regarded as highly favored for medicinal uses.
Its body, gum, bark, fruit, leaves, and blossom are used to produce medicine. In colonial times, resin from the tree was used as a mild laxative and as a diuretic. The leaves were used as a remedy for respiratory, inflammatory, congestion, and neurological disorders. Its bark eases pain from sprains, strain, rheumatism, and arthritis. And I'm sure many Jamaican homes still ward off flies with its branches.
Its most noted feature is the wood. Because it's slow growing, it's very, very dense. And that density and the weight of it gives it a number of industrial uses.
That's because the Lignum vitae is infused with an oil which makes it waterproof. It's ranked as the world's densest, hardest, and most durable traded wood. In addition to being used for making exquisite furniture, the Lignum vitae was used to insulate trolley cars for the rail industry. The wood also made the propeller shaft bearings of most ships back in the day. Lignum vitae wood is also ideal for these creations. The Lignum vitae is truly the holy grail of plants.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
Our team visited the largest freshwater wetland ecosystem in Jamaica to capture a historical story tailored just for you. Watch this.
The Black River Morass is actually the largest wetland area in Jamaica. The upper morass was used for planting rice some years ago. That has ceased, and as a result, we have lost that area. But the lower morass is still here, and it provides not just a safari boat tour, but shrimping, fishing, and there's a lot of bird life still in the lower morass. It has been declared a wetland of international importance, a Ramsar site.
The Black River Morass is home to hundreds of crocodiles, vegetation, and other aquatic animals. Through guided tours offered along the river, you can glide upstream to learn more about the wetlands and all its inhabitants.
Welcome on board the Safari Diva and welcome to the Black River Safari. My name is Roger and I'll be your captain and also your tour guide. Our trip will take us approximately 4 kilometers upstream, during which I'll show you some birds, wetland vegetation, and some of our very friendly crocodiles. Presently, we're on the Black River, and this is Jamaica's longest navigable river. It is 44 miles long, about 70 kilometers. Well, surrounding us, we have over 21,000 acres of swamp, and this is the largest wetlands in the Caribbean. It is also home for over 65 different species of birds. 17 years ago, it was estimated there was a little bit over 100 crocodiles living within the area. And since then, their number have increased as they are on the endangered species list. They were once hunted for their skin to make a nice shoes or a good handbag. They are protected. No hunting of crocodiles in Jamaica. Well, they are part of our heritage. They're on our coat of arms with the crocodiles at the top, Indians at the side.
Unlike what we may believe in Jamaica, our crocodile here, Crocodilus acutus, is one of the most docile of the crocodilian species. The thing about it is that they help to cull the fish population, the animals, the fish that are diseased or the fish that are dead, they will eat them and so on. So that it's well worth having those crocodiles here within our wetland areas.
These birds you are looking at, they are called egret, commonly known as galling. The reason for the birds to nest in this location, behind us, this is our local fish market. So once those small boat comes from sea, they'll have some food to get. In the river, we can catch big fish like tarpon. Those can get up to 200 pounds. And snook, which is a very good eating fish, can get up to 50 pounds. And the African perch, mullet, snapper, several different types. It's very good for fishing. So by the shallow edge of the river, it is also the main habitat for our freshwater shrimp. This little device I have here, this is called a shrimp trap. It is made from the bamboo plant. We'll use for bait roasted coconut, oranges, or even a piece of chicken. Now once the shrimp goes in, it's difficult for them to go out. The conical shape helps to keep them in. So we'll just hold it and twist it. It opens up so we can shake them out. It's actually very simple, but it is effective. The design came from West Africa over 200 years ago, and it is still used today. The vegetation or trees, they are called mangrove, which we have two types of mangrove tree, white and red. White mangrove, small leaves, and they are brighter in color. Red mangrove have much bigger leaves and also have those aerial root that goes into the water. It takes up all the minerals and nutrients for the tree. This section of the river we're entering, we call here Mangrove Avenue, as it forms a canopy similar to our Bamboo Avenue. These are all red mangrove trees, the ones that have the roots going into the water. In the early 1900s, the bark or skin of red mangrove was used for making a type of dye which we call tannin.
Did you know that the water in the Black River is actually clear? The river got its name due to the dark shade created by the presence of peat soil on the riverbed.
Peat soil, which is at the bed of the river, that is giving off the dark reflection. It also have its advantage and its disadvantage. The advantage, whenever time we have heavy rainfall or during hurricane, the soil, it acts as a sponge which absorbs the excess water. So we have no flooding activity within the area. However, when the water level gets too low, the peat soil, it gives off the methane gas, and with the help of sunlight it will ignite.
There are many different types of wetlands. In Jamaica, the most common wetlands are coastal mangroves, morasses, lakes, and ponds. For more information on the Black River Morass and all the other wetland areas in Jamaica, visit the National Environment and Planning Agency's website at www.nepa.gov.jm.
Practice good hygiene by washing your hands frequently using soap and water. Here's how you should do it while conserving water. Turn on the tap to wet your hands, then turn off the pipe. Lather your hands and the tap with soap. Turn on the tap and wash your hands, back, front, and in between fingers. Use some of the water to wash off the tap, then turn it off. Dry your hands with disposable hand towels. If you don't have running water, use a hand rub containing 62% or more alcohol. If hand sanitizers are not available, rubbing alcohol, Dettol, white rum, or household bleach will do the trick. And if all else fails, let hand washing and the handling of potable water be a two-person event. Each person will take turns pouring and washing hands with sitting water. Now is a good time to consider installing a tap on your containers to reduce the risk of water contamination. Faucets can be easily attached to drums, buckets, or 5-gallon water bottles. And to ensure that the outside of the containers are clean when recapping, disinfect it with hand rub containing alcohol that's 62% or more. The 5 R's of water conservation are also necessary to practice. Reduce water wastage by investing in water-saving devices. Reuse water at least twice before discarding. Replace leaking pipes, faucets, and other plumbing equipment. Recycle wastewater and use it for gardening, car washing, or cleaning of public spaces. And reclaim water through rainwater harvesting. We all must play our part to ensure there's water to combat the coronavirus and stave off prolonged drought.
Earlier in the program, we shared that today is Sir Bustamante's birthday, and you would have heard and seen key contributions in the features shown. Now, I'm sure you can say with me that Sir Bustamante has made an indelible mark on our culture, and Jamaica has seen it fit to ensure his memory lives on. Check this out. A life-size statue of Sir Bustamante is erected at South Parade, the place where he carried out many of his political activities. His insignia can be seen on the Jamaica $1 coin. Newport West, East, and adjoining port areas were renamed Bustamante Port in keeping with his long association with the labor movement. The Maypen Bypass Road is named the Bustamante Highway in his memory, and the Children's Hospital, which Bustamante had converted from an old army hospital, is the Bustamante Hospital for Children. As we continue to honor the life and work of our Jamaican giants, here's a call to be inspired, to be great and do great things. Remember, that's one way we can ensure that our nation becomes the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. After all that learning, we pause here, but only for today. Thank you for staying the course. We press play tomorrow from the same station and at the same time. For a refresher of today's package and many others, visit our YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages. From all of us here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. See you soon.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.